everybody. J Nell here with my UFC 228 happening this Saturday from Dallas, Texas. And the card is stacked. Let's get into the main event here. I am choosing, as I just blank, I am choosing Nico Price to beat Abdul Alhassan. I'm choosing Jessica Andrade to beat Carolina Kowalkiewicz. I just think that her chin and her strength is going to be too much. I think it's going to make Carolina's Krav Maga go forward, pressure fighting style work against her. Now, Jessica makes mistakes. She gets caught submissions all the time. She just powers her way out of it. So that's not to say that Carolina's out, but I'm calling it for Jessica Andrade. Next up, I'm choosing Zabit Magomedsharipov to beat Brandon Davis. Now, Brandon, if you could make this ugly kind of the way that Kyle B in the last fight did, there's always opportunities in chaos. However, I have drank the Kool-Aid on Zabit. You should read his little bio on the UFC page in the training. It goes hour by hour. 8 o'clock I do this, 9 o'clock I do this, 10 o'clock I do that. It's a reflection of his personality and his style. He's very precise. You know how some have the sledgehammer, some have the sword. Well, he definitely has a sword. It's precise. He slices through defenses, slices through offenses. He has multiple titles in Wushu Sanda, which is basically Chinese boxing, and a wrestling background as well. So he's extremely well-rounded. He has a couple of inches on the height and on the reach as far as the hands and feet, but he will seem even longer because he makes full use of that reach advantage. He makes good decisions in the octagon, makes changes that are necessary in the octagon, debuts new moves in the octagon, has a personality that kind of is like a little lazy personality that kind of casually shines through. He's one to watch. And again, I have drank the Kool-Aid. Next up, co-main event, and we are finally seeing the UFC Women's Flyweight Champ. In case you didn't know who it was, Nicco Montano taking on Valentina Shevchenko, and I can't wait for this fight. First up, the champ. She's got a wrestling base. She has good striking. She has kind of quick hands. She makes good decisions, good defense. She's kind of very well-rounded. She is big. She's got some size on her. She has some foot movement. But again, we just haven't seen too much from her. She won the belt in the Ultimate Fighter House, and then she got injured. She was injured pretty much. She won the fight December 1st, 2017, and we haven't seen her since. Some were like, I don't know, maybe she can fight. Maybe she's not as hurt as she says she is. I always go with the fighter on that, but I really think it would have behooved her to fight someone else before Valentina Shevchenko. This is not the fight you want coming off of an injury, your first fight in the UFC. The talent pool in the UFC is much higher than it is in the UFC house. Now, let's talk about Valentina. She's in stride. She's 30 years old. She's in her prime. She's coming down a weight class. Their measurements all are pretty much equal, but I think that Valentina will be bigger. Now, as I said, Nico's very well-rounded, but I wouldn't call her great at anything, where Valentina is a great Muay Thai kickboxer. She's great. She's great. Multiple titles, world titles in multiple divisions. She's great. And what we saw from the Juliana Pena fight is, whoop, whoop, the girl can wrestle too and has submissions. Again, she's in stride right now. She talked her way into a second title shot against Nunes, which she lost, but she did deserve that shot. She talked her way into this, and it was a great move. I think she'll be a little bit bigger, and I also think she might be faster in certain ways. Her movement might be a little faster. She kind of has bouncy footwork, so you know that whole, the bigger person's stronger, whereas the smaller person's faster. I don't think that's going to necessarily apply here. She's also fought a higher level of competition for much, much longer. I just think that I think Nico's overmatched. I think she's overmatched. And again, this is not the fight that you would want coming off of an injury and your first fight in the UFC. Again, we saw what happened to the Cookie Monster in the strawweight division. She went undefeated in the house. First title defense against Joanna and got TKO'd in the third round. It was a spectacular loss. She's just now coming into her own in the UFC because she got sidelined with an injury, but Cookie Monster is just now coming into her own. It really would have behooved Nico to fight somebody else first. I think she's overmatched. Now, it's not to say that this is the UFC, underdogs win all the time, and I'm pretty sure she's an underdog, but I think that Valentina is going to win. I think she's going to take that belt. That's the one thing. Nico she's got a great heart. She's not going to give up. You have to beat her up. You have to put her out. And I think that with a 5-round fight too, that Valentina has the tools to do so, the knowledge, the experience to do so. So I'm picking Valentina Shevchenko because I think she will win due to the matchup. Also, I want her to win, and here's why. I've been dying for this women's flyweight division to get started. It's hard to do when you have a champ who we haven't seen in the actual UFC yet. You have Valentina, who has all of the skills in order to hold the belt for a few fights. That way you can start to build around her. Also, she has the want and the personality that shines through, English being her second language, while she's working on English being her second language. She does all the social media. She wants to do interviews. She wants to travel. She wants to inspire. She wants to be a role model. She wants to be a true champion and all that comes with it. She's perfect to put the title on her back along with the division and let her ride. She's perfect to build a division around. So I don't just want her to win because I just don't think she's going to win. I want her to win because I want the women's flyweight division to win. Moving on. Main event. And we're seeing the UFC welterweight champion, Mr. Tyron Woodley. And that is Tyron, not Tyrone. All right. Tyron Woodley defending his title against the chosen one, against Mr. Darren Till. Till, I know it's not Tilla the gorilla, but Till the gorilla. Anyway. Let's get into this first. Let's talk about the challenger here in Darren Till. He's only 25 years old. He's huge for the division. We know he has had problems making weight in the past. He's got the kickboxing. He also has a nice jiu-jitsu base, wrestling base as well. But he's known for that kickboxing. He's known for the boxing, the stand-up game. He is quick. He is unique in his movement. He takes risks and does new things, so you kind of don't know what you're going to expect. He has a nice chin, and he's a bit bigger. He's just very physically imposing. Now we have the chosen one, the champ, Mr. Woodley, who has that real wrestling base. I'll believe an All-American, someone correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure an All-American wrestling base, but has developed the hands, has developed one-punch knockout power, has developed movement and real nice head movements and angles, and he's so smart. That's really what I really want to talk about here with Tyron Woodley. You know, Tyron Woodley, because of if he was a better wordsmith, I think he would be more liked, even with his controversial opinions. I think if he was able to get them across better, he could be starting a conversation instead of invoking such a visceral reaction from people. Because people hate Tyron. They hate him. So because they hate him, I don't think they give him enough props for how smart he is in every way. Let's talk about the octagon. How smart he is in the octagon. He had some issues making weight, issues with his gas tank lasting, so he fixed those. He had issues fighting Robbie Lawler being in the same camp, so he changed camps. He expanded his game. He worked where he didn't have to use his wrestling. He makes adjustments during the fight. He reads his opponents very well. He makes great game plans. When he knocked out Robbie Lawler, that was not an accident. He got Robbie Lawler to bite on a feint. It was beautiful. He bit on the feint and then it knocked him out. It was beautiful. He plans everything. He's smart in his career. I forget his name. I can't think of his name right now. Talking about his B-rate movie career. Well, those B-rate movie careers is cash and getting him checks, putting his kids through college in the future, okay? And it's not just that. He's building his way up to a more visible career in the entertainment industry after he's finished fighting. Let's talk about the TMZ reoccurring spot on TMZ. Hello. So he's been smart in his career outside of the octagon, in the octagon. His family, he doesn't get into trouble. He's a family man. He has a beautiful wife. You gotta check her out. Check out her ID. She's beautiful. He's good looking. The family's good looking. So there's really nothing to dislike. He's just not the best with words. I really think, I'm telling you, he's just not the best with words. So if he was, I think you'd hear about him more in a more favorable light. But anyway, so I think because of that, we don't talk about how smart he is, and that is the main reason why I'm actually picking him to beat Darren Till. I think he's smarter than Darren Till. I think he'll make the necessary adjustments, and I saw some question marks in Darren Till's his psyche. In the last few interviews with him, he clearly is tired of being in the welterweight division. He's tired of making weight. He has no desire to do it anymore past this. He's made that very clear. In the last fight against Wonder Boy, so lackluster, less offense than in the second fight with Woodley and Wonder Boy, which who thought of that? And I don't want to hear that mess. Well, that was his idol, fighting his idol. This is the fight game. fighters want to fight their idol, they also want to beat their idol. And that was a piss poor performance that a lot of people think Wonder Boy won. Okay? So I'm not sure if, I think that Tyron is mentally stronger than Darren Till. I think he'll make the adjustments first. I think he'll make them faster. I think, again, how he, with the feints and the deceptive movements and the baiting him into bad decisions, the cerebral game, of which is 90%, as they say, I think Tyron wins that, especially at this time. Now, Darren Till has a bright future, and he may be a future champ, but I don't see him being Tyron at this time. I could be wrong with that punt knock, that the chin that he has, the power that he has. Of course, he could win. Tyron being 36, which I didn't realize. I thought he was about 33. He's 36. So I don't know if that's a knock because he's 36, and this is not the heavyweight division. He is not coming into his prime. And the one thing about being older is you don't recover as well from injuries, which he is coming off of. But thinking that he was 33, knowing that he's 36, I think that's a testament to say how he's taken little damage, how he is in fight years probably younger than 36, which is kind of rare with fighters, especially 36-year-old fighters. So I don't know if that's a good or a positive. There's just something to think about. Could be some ring rust because he's coming off an injury again, and he is 36. Just something to put out there. But again, going with the chosen one. Let me know your picks, any injury updates, how excited you are for this entire card, because the entire card is stacked. And look out for my 15-second predictions, because I'm going to have to say something about the prelims. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I'm on Snapchat now. Talk to me, take care. Or subscribe, like, talk to me, take care. And goodbye.